G'day, it's Stanley here from Instinct, and today we're going to run you through our first impressions on the CFMOTO UFORCE 600. So first and foremost, I just wanted to cover off why we actually have the UFORCE 600 here. So we have 60 acres here and we are running about 15 to 20 head of cattle. So this vehicle is going to be used a lot for farming and also for the odd hunting trip. So the first question I sort of wanted to address was, why did I pick the UFORCE 600 over the 1000? And the reason being, we're only on 60 acres. We don't really need all that power and we're not really looking for top end speed. A smaller vehicle that can maneuver into tighter spots is going to be more suited to this property and our needs, hence why we've gone with the UFORCE 600. So just starting with a little walk around, you'll see that we've gone with the hunt model for this. Now the reason why we decided to go the hunt model is, I guess it's sort of value for money. You get a few extra things like these bars, the side steps, the camo color, mirrors and a few other things, snorkels. So it just came down to value for money, and also we're going to bring out some products around the UFORCE range, and we wanted to make sure any of the products that we design will actually be compatible with the factory accessories that come with them. So yeah, that's why we've gone with the hunt model. So one of the good features on these UFORCE series and these UTVs is you get a decent sized tray at the back. So obviously you can cart things around like the pooch, hay, your fencing equipment and whatnot. Look, to be honest, like if you come from having something like a farm ute, the tray's obviously a lot smaller. So I think it just comes down to utilizing the space. We've got a few ideas of what we can do to improve this going forward, but yeah, stay tuned and see what we come up with there. When it comes to the cockpit, I'm actually genuinely impressed. It's quite a modern looking dash set up in here and all the buttons. Like obviously it's quite still agricultural with your rocker switches, but this is what the thing's made for. It's got this pretty cool digital dash though. I'll just turn the ignition on. Bit of glare there, but yeah, you get all your different, as you change through the gears, it changes from park to reverse, neutral, high, low, speed, hours. It has a fuel gauge and a temperature gauge, so everything you want's there, all nice and digital, which is cool. Then over on the left here you have your four-wheel drive switch, so you can go into just four-wheel drive, and then if you go all the way to the right here, that engages the front diff lock. So one thing to note on the UFORCE 600 is you've got a rear LSD and a front diff lock. So look, should be pretty unstoppable. I'm sure there's always going to be a way to get it stuck, but considering these only weigh around 700 kilos, you got, you know, pretty decent sized tires on there, and you're running rear LSD and a front diff lock, you should be able to get up just about anything. So just some other cool features that come with it. You've got a USB port so you can charge your phones and whatnot. You've got a 12-volt outlet here. You have normal and work mode. I'm yet to play around much with that, but I believe the work mode just potentially gives you a bit of more of an aggressive power map. I'm not sure. Storage wise, it's pretty limited to be honest. You've got this little glove box here where your winch remote and whatnot sits in. Plenty of cup holders, so nothing wrong with that, but you've got these lovely big storage areas here that you can't really do anything with because your stuff just falls straight out of them. But we've actually come up with a solution for that, so look, I'll link it down in the description, but man, maybe I'll do an install video soon too. But basically we get some panels that sit in here and they come up sort of around this high, and that just allows you to put all your stuff like your phones, your first aid kits, fire extinguishers, ammo, anything like that can sit in there and it won't bounce out. with the tray, if you need to get to you know, the engine and whatnot to do maintenance, it's really easy. Just got a little lever down the bottom here, click that, and you got pretty much full access to the engine and transmission and diffs at the back here. So this model has the snorkels fitted to it. The standard non-hunt version doesn't come with the snorkels standard. I've been told that the snorkels are going to be mainly a benefit for dust if you're going to be in dusty areas. Like obviously around our property here it's quite grassy and we don't have other vehicles, so it's not too bad. But if you're going hunting out west and you're on a property that's really dusty, then that's where these are going to come in wonders. In terms of actually going through deep water, yeah, like anything, it's not really recommended to go super deep because you got the CVT transmission there, and once that fills up with water, you can start getting issues with the belt and whatnot. So, you know, if you have to do it, you have to do it, but obviously, like anything, try and steer clear of deep water. Another thing I really liked about the hunt version was it came with a winch. So, you know, when you get stuck out there in the middle of the paddock by yourself, you don't want to be walking all the way home to go get another vehicle and get that vehicle stuck. So having a winch here, really handy. Comes with a remote. The remote actually plugs in just up near where the driver's seat is. So yeah, I'm hoping that should be pretty reliable. It's just a small winch, but it's only weighs 700 kilos, so should pull out pretty easily. So one thing you read about a lot with the UFORCE 600 being a single cylinder engine is that they make quite a bit of noise. And yeah, to be honest, the first time I took it for a drive, that was sort of the first impression I got. It is quite noisy in the cab. Look, I haven't really got anything to compare it to. I've never driven one of the other models like a Can-Am or a Polaris, but we'll give it a quick start up now and you can hear how that little single cylinder engine sounds. At idle it's not too bad. It's really once you start getting up to that 4,000-5,000 RPM mark that it starts to drone through the whole cabin. I know hunters find this a little bit difficult because obviously if you're trying to sneak up on some animals, this is not ideal. So yeah, maybe in the future we can look at ways of how we can soundproof the cabin a bit better and potentially even look at a different muffler system to try and reduce that noise. Never driven one of these before, you're going to find that the way the clutch engages is quite, I guess, sudden or a little bit surprising at the start. So it's really important you just want to feather the throttle on, let it bite, and then you can start applying more throttle. If you go and just sort of push on the throttle like you would on a car, you get that real jerky motion. Again, this is something that's supposed to get better with time, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to keep putting updates on this machine as the hours clock up on it and we start to add our own little accessories. Hopefully we might put a RNG performance clutch kit in this in the near future just to see how they work, because I've seen a lot of good reviews on them. Yeah, but for now we'll just stick to the factory option and see how that goes. Which I am struggling to adjust to a little bit is the sensitivity on the throttle. Like I come from a background of four-wheel driving where I'm quite used to being careful with the throttle on rough ground, but I noticed that this throttle is very sensitive. As you're going over bumps and stuff in the paddock, you can really start to feel it jerking back and forth. I'll try and make a video just to show you what that sort of feels like just by the sound. You'll hear it sort of jumping back and forth, but look, I'm not sure what the answer is there. Obviously just be a bit more careful with the throttle, I guess, is the main one. But hopefully there's a way we can add something in there just to dampen that out a little bit. So, like for me, it's not such a problem, but if someone else is driving and it's not really familiar with it, then you don't really want them to feel uncomfortable. Another thing that you're going to have to keep in mind, especially if you're coming from something like a manual four-wheel drive, is that these don't really have a lot of engine braking with the way the clutch system works. As soon as you start to go down a hill and you take your foot off the throttle, it's basically up to the brakes then. So if you've got a really hilly terrain, that might just be something to consider. Look, it does sort of give you some engine braking in some instances, and then in others it just sort of seems to run away. But look, as long as you stay on the brake and you keep on control of that, should be fine. And they're only a light vehicle, so hopefully side slipping doesn't really become much of an issue unless it's really muddy and really steep. So what are 3 things that I like about the UFORCE 600? Well, first of all, it's the general quality of it. Like, if you look over the thing, everything looks really decent. There's a good paint coating over all the frame and everything like that. There's a lot of little accessories in there which are really nifty as well. So I think value for money, I'm quite impressed with that. The second thing is with the ride. It just handles the rough terrain really nicely compared to a 4-wheel drive or something like that. I come from a dirt bike background, so I guess it's somewhere between a dirt bike and a 4-wheel drive. You can really tackle the terrain and it doesn't bounce you around too much. And then third, I guess, is just everything seems quite easy to access and quite intuitive in terms of maintenance. So I guess time will tell with that one, but so far I'm pretty impressed that everything's quite intuitive. If you've got a bit of a mechanical background, then I think looking after these, and as a farmer you always want to look after your own equipment a bit, it should be pretty straightforward. So the next one is, what don't I like about the UFORCE 600? So a couple of things quickly come to mind for me when I think about things that I don't like on the vehicle, and first one's going to be the throttle. It's too jumpy. It's a little bit annoying and uncomfortable. I feel like you'll probably get used to it, but you want this to be something that anyone can jump in and drive it around and not feel uncomfortable. So I think we're going to have to do something about that. And secondly is just how stiff the gears are. I think that's going to improve with time, but just as the initial impression, it is a bit tricky when you get yourself in a situation, say down in a gully, and because there's pressure on that gear there, you can't actually get it into reverse, and so you get stuck in a bit of an awkward situation. But I've been told this will get better after around, say, 10 hours, so yeah, let's just see how that goes and we'll keep you updated from there. So I keep talking about value for money, but what did I actually pay for this? So right now they're running a tax time special. I think it's $1,500 off. So I paid $16,500 for this UFORCE 600 Hunt, which, look, especially if you're running an operation or a business on your property, it's all tax deductible. And I think as a vehicle on your farm or going for hunting, it's not a bad price to get something like this. You can use straight away, take it into the paddock and yeah, start putting it to work. What are our plans with this UFORCE 600 going forward? I mentioned earlier that we're going to be developing a few products to suit the UFORCE range. We already have the storage panels for the inside, like I pointed out, but we've got a whole bunch of other things in the pipeline, which I think will be pretty cool. And what it's going to do is just make this vehicle a little more usable for things like camping, hunting, and just around the farm as well. For us at Instinct, things that are functional are really important. So the general theme of the products you see us releasing will be, you know, they've got some form of function for the vehicle, whether it be protection, you know, improving your lighting, or making it easier to do something on the farm or when you're out hunting. So yeah, stay tuned. If you're after any more information, feel free to drop us a message or jump on our website for more information. If you like the video, like and subscribe. There'll be plenty more of these types of videos to come in the future. I might do a more detailed video on the ins and outs if people are interested. And yeah, I'll start popping up a few install videos of our products and show you how they work. Thanks for watching, everyone. We appreciate you supporting the channel. And if you have any questions about anything we've gone over today, please just feel free to drop us a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. We're always interested to see what sort of content you guys want to see, so feel free to comment below if you've got a certain thing you want to see about the machines, or you know, some kind of content, whether it's camping, hunting, fishing. We'll try and, you know, obviously cater to what you guys want to see. So thanks again, and see you on the next one.